trying CBD. CBD is a natural compound found in the hemp plant that has been shown to have a variety of health benefits. CBD can help relax your mind and body, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. It is also non-addictive and has no known side effects. If you're interested in trying CBD, check out our website at www.hypnotizeme.com. And remember, if you're not hypnotized, then you're not doing it right. That's hypnotizeme.com, www.hypnotizeme.com for our high-quality CBD products and drinks. Hypnotize Me, a sponsor of the Boss Fest podcast.
It seems like everybody want to be a boss these days. Everybody want to be a boss till it's time to pay out, you feel me? Till it's time to pay that boss cost. They ain't trying to have them tough conversations. They ain't trying to put in them extra hours, catching that windfall money, dealing with folks not being consistent. Don't get me started on the lack of sleep, but you know what they say.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe. Tune in, catch the topic, get the tea. Ain't no shallow waters over here, we get deep. You sensitive, easy to offend, you need to flee. But them tough conversations gonna be happening. Boss Fest Podcast, they hold it down. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, man, it's going down. Tell a friend to tell a friend and y'all gather round. Get active in the comments, don't get lost in the crowd.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man DJ Bush. I had to show love to Kevin and Edwina, Boss Fest Butlers. Y'all know what time it is. The Boss Fest Podcast. But you already know what we live in.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe.
I got you. Go ahead.
It says I'm muted.
They can hear you.
All right, he says y'all can hear me. So if y'all can hear me, let me get a hey or a thumbs up in the chat from everyone.
You can hear yourself right now.
I can't hear myself right now. Y'all know I don't trust the sound guy. So I want everybody else to say hey to me.
Golly, bro.
Oh, no, it is telling me my mic is muted.
It's going to always tell you your mic. Don't mute your mic.
Damn, I want to touch it.
Don't touch nothing. Did you get your confirmation yet? Because I ain't got time for this, man.
I didn't get my confirmation. And
Then
I'm
ask your
telling
mind.
you, my trust is so low in like the... It's so low.
That's why I got my cup, man, because I ain't gonna deal with you with this foolishness, bro. you got the guests just looking at us crazy with this stuff, man. Come on, bro.
I like this stuff. This is my favorite part.
This is what the podcast is.
Yeah,
Listen, if you guys can hear us, let me get a hey or a thumbs up in the chat, because I am still taking applications for a sound person, and I just want to make sure before I kick off the podcast, we are 100% here.
The best way to do this, because I ain't finna sit here and keep dealing with these insults from you.
Insults?
Insults. Like, I'm on top.
Okay. Shamar says she can hear.
Now, listen, I told you.
She said she can hear. So good job, sound guy.
Whatever.
Good job.
Whatever, girl.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get started as per what my sound guy said 3 minutes ago. So welcome to another Boss Fest podcast. We thank you. Hey. Thank you for joining us at the Boss Table. I'm Edwina.
I'm Kevin, the best sound man in the business, giving you that crystal clear that Windex clip sound quality.
But we are still taking applications. And
What
then we have sitting at the boss table with us. We are so excited to have Mr. Donald with us. He's going to introduce himself so he can give all of his letters behind his name. So tell us.
I ain't gonna do all of that. But, good evening, everybody. My name is Donald. I'm a substance abuse counselor. I'm also studying to be a couples and sex therapist.
Okay.
So, glad to have you. Thank y'all for having me.
Listen, man.
Well, that's all this. I really thought.
Listen,
you
man,
were
we
like,
don't-
oh,
listen.
Yeah, no, I don't need to do like.
Yeah, we don't need all them initials.
Yeah, we got it.
I mean, if somebody like, let's say they scrolled across the podcast and said, look at how them initials what he got. You know, they might. No, okay.
I smell.
Well,
They
my
know what it
sound
is,
guy
but-
thinks I'd be doing too much. So we are going to get into it. Today's topic is what is your fear?
That's a good one.
I thought it was really good, right?
I'm scared of it. I'm afraid. This-
You're afraid of
Yeah,
the topic.
The topic puts fear in my heart. I'm fearful right now. I don't know where this is gonna go.
Literally, I mean, I felt like it was a fitting topic. You know, we just left Halloween. Everyone's talking about things that they're afraid of. And I thought for once we could go a little deep and we could talk about some of our fears. So you think I should let Donald kick it off?
With his fears?
With his fears, like what are you afraid of?
That's a great question. I won't say that I'm necessarily afraid of it, but I'll say that's something that I'm dealing with. Like I am dealing with a fear. I would say like the fear of failure.
Good one.
Yeah, the
Good
fear
one.
of failure.
I
That's
feel
a
him on
big
that.
one. That's a big one. That's a huge one. That kind of keeps me stuck in certain places. This year was really important for me because it was really about facing that particular fear, you know, and really like stepping out and just being like, hey, listen, you're going to try some things new. You're going to grow. You're going to elevate. You're going to evolve, that type of thing. So, and I didn't know what to expect, you know, so that uncertainty was crazy for me, you know, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I really stepped out and facing it. And I would say I will continue to face it because this is my thing about like fears and stuff like that. I don't necessarily, I think we all have fears. I just think that it's about facing those fears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think we all have fears. I think that's human nature. But it's about facing those fears, not letting those fears overcome, or not letting those fears face you. So, yeah, I would say that was
I got a question about your fear. Just like as soon as you said it, what my thing is so if you're afraid of failure, does that sometimes keep you still? Because like you don't start a project because you're like, I don't want to fail at this project.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Sometimes I think fear and wisdom sound the same.
Okay.
And so sometimes we can think that we're using wisdom, you know, because like I'm very analytical. So sometimes I think I'm using wisdom because I'm like, yeah, you know, that's really logical. But sometimes it's not that at all.
You're just talking
it's
yourself out of doing
exactly, 100%. So, yeah, it's definitely has like studied my growth. But I would say this year, it's been about facing those fears and like it's been fun. Like it's been fun.
it. You didn't even know we was going to church today, did you? Did you?
Now I'm gonna start cursing in a minute, but
It's okay. Question is, how do you really define fear? To me, fear isn't a bad thing.
Oh no. Oh no.
What you mean? Oh no.
Because I feel like you have some of the same fears as Donald. That's why he was taking us to church about facing his fear. And here you go saying fear is not even real.
What he said was he has a fear of failure and he started doing things to face those fears. What I'm telling you is that how you define fear is different for everybody. And for me, there are certain fears that have kept me alive to this point. And then there are also certain fears that have helped me grow and succeed and try new things.
that's fair. That's fair.
So forgive me
Okay,
for
so
wanting
tell
to
us one of your
define
fears.
my fear.
Tell us one of your fears. Let's break it down. Let's define it. Just put a fear on the table.
Losing my family. Tragically.
Oh, tragically losing your family. Okay.
Yeah, tragically losing my family.
All right. So that's your fear. Tragically
That's
losing
up
your
here.
okay, a fear.
Mhm.
Tragically losing your family.
Right.
So you said fears keep you alive.
Right. So I try to drive safe when we're on the highway.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh my God.
See, why
I thought
y'all
we was gonna be for real today.
I never said that. When did I say that?
Oh my! I mean, I'm just saying it's a really good topic. So we're going to skip you.
Go
I
ahead.
just threw out the skip Uno card.
Go ahead. Skip Uno card.
All right. So we
You
have.
already reading comments. Tell us your fear.
I want to read the
Don't
comments.
read no comment yet. I'll put it back on the screen later. What is your fear, woman?
Dang, I want to. So I have lots of fears. Like I fear a ton of things. The first one that comes to my mind is I'm afraid of what the next chapter is bringing for me. I feel myself shedding like the old me. And you know, when they say like you lose people when you're going to the next phase, I feel that. Like everybody I know isn't coming. And you can attest to 2023, like the people around me have changed. And I feel a shift in what's about to happen in my life. And there's a certain level of fear for me on what that next level for me will bring, like what it's going to look like.
You wasn't afraid to lose them people.
I didn't say I was afraid to lose the people. I said I was afraid of what the next level looks like for me. I've lost the people. They are gone. And people say like, man, when you're about to shift and you're about to go into a new phase, everybody can't come along with you. And you know, you hear it and you're like, man, that'd be BS. Like, that's not really true. But I see it in real life. Like, it's really happened. I've started to move towards different things. And the same people that I may have gravitated to, you know, a year ago or so don't fit in what the new category is. They just don't. And there's no hard feelings or anything. It's just like, we're different.
Yeah,
All of a
sometimes it's
sudden.
life. Like sometimes it's just life. You know, like life happens, everybody grows apart, and it's okay.
Mhm.
You know, there's no beef, no bad blood. That's the crazy part too. It's like sometimes when you grow apart from people, like they always think it has to be like some sort of like bad blood or like some issues or something like that. Like, nah, it might just be like we're going in two different directions. You know?
That's exactly what it is. So that's one of my fears. So can I read the comment?
Yes, ma'am. It's your show.
Dang. Let me see if I can. Okay, so it says fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Man, we get some knowledge on the podcast today. Okay.
You know, Marius is shout out to Marius too, man. You know he gonna come on here and drop some jewels on us.
Really is. And how his jewels rhyme? Like, you know, is
Yeah,
that like?
yeah.
I'm like, did he put it in like a algorithm and make sure that the words go together?
I think he used to do music back in the day, if I'm correct. So that might be
I think so.
that makes sense now. Shout out to Marius, that's my guy. What else we got?
So now
I'm quiet. I'm listening. I'm waiting on fears. Go.
I just said one of my fears. So he's shouting you out now. So I just said one of my fears, and for me, it's a really big thing. I'm afraid of like so many things. I'm gonna get into some fears that's gonna be like real left to later, but I'm trying to keep it, you know, business for right now.
Why? Sound like you ready to go left later.
No, I'm not gonna go left right now. I'm just keeping it, you know,
You
like
trying to warm up?
yeah, we warming up to
I'm high
left.
already. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you ready to go?
So what I was going to say is, how do we deal with certain fears? So as Donald said, like he faces them, but what if it isn't a fear? I don't want to say that you can face, but you know what I mean? Like you approach fears differently. So how does
I think Kevin had a great point when he said that some fears are good, but some fears keep you safe. You know? So I think that's a good point. Some fears aren't necessarily meant to necessarily face. I think some fears are just good as it's not like a fear in the sense of like I'm afraid. It's more like a fear of a sense of reverence. You know, it's a sense of respect. So I don't think all fears you listen, if a bear comes into this house right now, everybody in here has a reason to be afraid.
that's
You know
the
what I'm
only
saying?
thing I can think of that Kevin's comment makes sense of like if something's like coming to attack me.
No, but I mean, having a fear of like wanting to lose your family, having a fear of wanting to, you know, lose your security or your job or your well-being or, you know, even just your name and your reputation. That's important, you know, because your name and your reputation is really all you have in this world. So, you know, if somebody tarnishes that name or that reputation, like, yeah, you
should fight them, huh?
Yeah, I don't know about fight them, but
Oh,
you should
I was
definitely.
just checking.
That's what you going.
I was just checking
You
it.
shot-
Wait,
she got there quickly, huh? she got there quickly.
I didn't hear none of that, but you should fight them.
Yeah, she
But he agreed with me.
got there
He
quickly.
backtracked.
No, I didn't. I said
You stumbled in. No. You should.
Yeah, because it threw
You
me off
thought about
guard.
it for a second.
Yeah. Threw me off guard. I wasn't ready for the,
Oh, so we're not fighting. I was just checking the room temp, to see if we was fighting the people or not.
Well, we know what you do when
She fight.
Yeah, we got it.
No,
I mean, no, but I mean, like, I do think that it's important. Like, and when you say fighting, I think it is important sometimes to like, you can fight it in various ways. You don't necessarily have to be physical. We grown now, so it might be legal.
It might be legal?
Yeah, you might owe me some money.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all don't fight.
Yeah, defamation.
Physically and
Defamation. No, I need that. I need it. No, sometimes you gotta set an example for people. No, seriously. Like sometimes you gotta set an example for people. You can't
I'm feeling all of this. What you're saying?
Yeah, because you can't always let shit slide. Sometimes you gotta set an example.
You cannot always let it slide.
Yeah, you can't always let it slide.
You cannot always.
You gotta set an example. Because sometimes what happens is if you let things occur too many times, y'all know about the idea of like resentment, right? I know about the idea of resentment.
no, break it down. What's the ideal of the resentment?
So, like, the idea of resentment is a lot of times resentment occurs, particularly in relationships where there were things that needed to be addressed that were never addressed. And we just let these things go, right? You feel a way about it, but you never said anything about it. And so what happens is, we don't address those situations. We don't address those fears, those anxieties, those whatever. And then what happens is because you feel a way about it, those feelings don't go away. All of a sudden you explode.
You fight them.
So maybe not quite, because where she going, I think is violent. You know what I'm saying? Where she going a whole different way. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, just know that when she get charged with something, the first thing she's gonna say was, "Well,
I was talking to Donald.
Donald said I can fight him."
Donald said I can fight him.
Just fight him.
But seriously though, I think because your name is important. That's all you really have in this world. So you can't just allow people to just do and say whatever and just put whatever attached to your name. That's all you have in this world. Everything else will fade away, but your name that's important. So sometimes, you do have to show people that there's repercussions for using my name is inappropriate.
Man, he didn't know he was coming to bring the word today, but here he is bringing it. Here he is.
What else? What other fears y'all got, man?
I want to, before we go to more fears, I just want to backtrack a little bit on what Donald was able to tell us. Because what he said was, we're going to sit in this word a little bit.
We're going to sit in this word a little bit.
What he said was, sometimes in a relationship, things aren't resolved. He said they're not resolved. They kind of, just sit there and then people explode because they didn't get those things off of their chest. Like they weren't said, they weren't resolved. They just kind of sat there and then people go and explode. Did you receive that word?
No, all I heard was that people don't know how to deal with their emotions.
He never said that.
You said something. You said sometimes they ain't deal with something and they explode. It's like you don't know how to deal with your emotions.
I think
so. Do you fear not having the control to deal with your emotions?
You can't just use the word fear in anything.
I'm putting fear in everything. I'm about to put some fear in some water. We're gonna put some.
That's not how it works. And he didn't say that.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Me?
Well,
I just want us to sit in the word. Like Donald dropped some game, and I just want to make sure everyone in the social media world heard that, especially those of us sitting at the boss table, if they received that message.
Listen, sometimes the pastor say, "I mean, this word ain't meant for everybody."
I also think that with that being said, though, you have to pick your battles. That's important as well. Because you can't address everybody. Like you can't address everybody. Some people aren't even worth you addressing, to be honest with you. Sometimes you just they're not even on your level to really be able to address that situation. They're not making enough noise. They ain't got enough motion. It's aimless noise. It's like, and I think that's extremely important too in the net era, because anytime you're doing anything, people are going to have an opinion right or left about it. And you can't like comment on everybody's, you can't do that. You just, first of all, I know me personally, I'm just speaking for me personally, I don't even have the time to like address every situation. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes just let the situation be what it is. I ain't trying to clear shit up. Whatever you think is what you think. But by the same token, I ain't gonna let you put my name in a space to where it becomes negative, where it affects like my business or things that I'm trying to do on a professional level.
Which is so crazy that words that people say out of their mouth can affect your business and affect people that have no earthly idea anything about you. Like, why is it that people are so like easily led to believe whatever and they have no truth or facts to go on? I don't understand that.
Because we're emotional by nature.
It's almost like whoever tells the story first, like, I'm gonna side with you.
Yeah, we're emotional by nature. So basically what that means is, you know, anytime, especially if whatever we are feeling coincides with whatever we are like thinking or how we feel automatically. So if I say something like, if somebody says a post like, I'm just giving an example, all men are dogs, right? And I feel like all men are dogs based upon my own experience, then I'm going to side with that because my emotions connect with that statement. And so unfortunately, that's the same way how people are. They already have a preconceived notion about you or anything like that. When they see something that they feel like aligns with their already preconceived notion of it, they believe it. They go with it. Which is what it is. That's why. That's why.
They looked at you and made an assumption, and someone told a story, and it was like, that nigga did that shit.
Yeah, and that's why again, like that's why sometimes, especially like on the internet, like you can't address everything because like people will see stuff and they run with it and they think that's what it is, and you just have to let them have it. You know?
I'm ready to address everything.
You ready to address everything?
I'm in a season where I'm addressing nothing. I don't feel like
getting these thug fingers ready.
Really. I don't feel like everything is old in explanation. And like I said, I feel like I'm moving into a new phase. So the old me, I give like, it would literally be a countdown before set off. And you could see it. And then once like the set off happens, there's no putting that back in the box. Right. But now I just be like, I don't have no energy for it. What are you giving me a face for? I don't have energy for those things.
This must be selective.
What do you mean? And sometimes it is, but what do you mean?
Because I always get the original Edwina. I get the countdown, then explode.
Yeah, you do, but it's different for you. I also, you know how he
I don't
said,
want no
like,
special treatment.
You know how he said, sometimes you let things slide. I don't let nothing slide with you. Nothing.
What this Hennessy and Coke show is.
But ain't that delicious? Yes, man, that thing came out the freezer nice and chill. I'm just enjoy that. Enjoy that. Hey, I love you.
I know. So I want to talk about a fear. I'm gonna take us way left, and y'all don't judge me. I'm asking for a no judgment zone here.
I'm gonna do my best, but it is hard not to judge.
You have a fear of the Cheesecake Factory?
I like the Cheesecake Factory.
You're a Cheesecake Factory lie.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I stopped liking the Cheesecake Factory about 3 years ago. You are right.
But she still do Olive Garden.
Just do Olive Garden.
Yeah, okay. And the Waffle House.
Okay.
We good. We good over here.
I love Waffle House. But when Kevin and I met, we couldn't even afford fast food, much less like a Cheesecake Factory.
That's
so when we got to Cheesecake Factory status, we thought we was like getting money. We were like, what? You want 2 cheesecakes? Man, I got you.
Sound like this kind of talk. This is like real life shit. None of that like internet
relationship
shit.
We could not afford fast food because you got me to buy 32 cheeseburgers for you and your homeboys when it was $1 at Checkers.
They were 50-cent Checker burgers, and the block ain't good that day.
The point is, when we finally made it to cheesecake status, we were like, I thought I was doing something. Yeah, you know, because like when he take me out, it would be Olive Garden. And
that's a favorite.
I fuck
with Olive Garden.
Hard, you know, like
it is the nastiest. Y'all just, I don't know what is wrong with y'all.
Listen, me and Jay used to eat that 5 cheese ziti all the time, like that shit.
I see that for y'all. I really do. Shout out to my guy because I don't feel like he leave the house.
Yeah.
My boy has a fear of leaving the house. Y'all ain't gonna bother my dog.
Y'all don't know. Y'all talking about my dog.
Tag my sister in this.
You're not gonna do my dog like that. You're not gonna do my dog like that.
Oh my God.
You said you're going left. So what we going left?
They do that because they got money over there.
They got.
They got.
That's why they be doing it.
They got long money though.
We got them out of the house.
I seen Ashley at the Boss Fest thing. I said, yeah, we getting money. I said, yeah, we getting money. We it's a different money for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
We do feel privileged when she makes it to our side of town, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to my no judgment zone. I don't know, did y'all promise not to judge me?
We did not promise. We just gonna do
I
our
need
best.
y'all to promise not to judge me. Dang. All right, those of you watching, I need a no judgment zone. I'm just gonna throw my fear on the boss table and just tell y'all what it is. I am afraid of the ghost that I feel like is following me. And that's for real. It's a ghost.
Yeah, me and what? Like,
It's a spirit that I feel like is around me, and it makes me afraid.
Is it a good spirit, a bad spirit?
I don't know. I'm being so for real.
Wow, well, I'm telling you, boy, Kevin, you just came with this drink, my boy.
I told y'all
Well,
not
I'm
to
gonna have to
judge
make
me.
two, about to make another one.
I told y'all not to judge me. So listen, it was a night where we have a Ring camera in our garage. The garage closes at a certain time of night. Like it closes by itself. No one can come in and out.
Shout out to black folks with garages. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is getting money. We ain't even talking about that. Go ahead, continue on.
The Ring camera kept going off and it was telling me it was a person in the garage. And like it kept going off. So I woke up Kevin and I could see like a thing passing back and forth for the camera. Not a bug, so don't try to like be like, man,
Okay.
it was a little gnat.
I'm letting you have your moment. Let you have your moment.
So I could see it pass through the camera. So I showed Kevin and he was like, just go to sleep. But he didn't have an answer for me.
I'm with
He
Kevin.
just told me to go to sleep.
I'm with Kevin.
But I couldn't because the ring kept going off. It kept telling me it's a person. So finally he got up and unplugged the camera. He never had an answer for me. And you could
That was
see
the
in the
answer.
that wasn't the answer.
That was the
man.
answer.
You
I'm
could
with
see
Kevin.
in the
I'm
recording.
with you, Kevin.
You
I'm
can-
with you. I'm
I
tired.
have the video.
I ain't finna do this shit tonight. I'm not finna do this shit tonight.
You can see like a little spot like traveling around. I'm like, what is that?
I'm gonna put the gun on the table. Bam. If it come in here, it's a wrap.
It's blackout.
How you? The ghost can come through a door. It's a spirit.
Obviously, that nigga was trapped in the garage.
Right.
He
Well,
didn't choose to come to the
Right.
cameras inside.
well, let it come through these hollows.
Y'all not taking me for real. This is a real life fear that I have.
I'm taking you.
Look at you.
It's a real life fear. So I don't have like a certain thing that I believe in. So I don't know what it is.
You mean religiously?
Religiously, yes. Religiously.
So you don't believe in certain things religious?
I mean, I don't have enough. For me, it's like I would need more knowledge of certain things.
So you believe there's a God, you just don't know which God you believe. So because you don't know which God you believe, you think spirits out here on your neck. I'm just trying to understand.
You put a lot of words in my mouth right now. Like I listened to you and I
I'm
didn't say none of that. I
I'm
didn't say any of that.
I'm gonna be quiet then. Tell us what you said. What you got?
I like this. I'll just be honest. This I like.
What I'm telling you is I feel like there's a spirit around me and I am afraid of it. And sometimes when I move through the house, I feel like I see something on the side of me.
Okay.
And I do not have a mental illness, so don't do that either.
No, I wasn't gonna go there.
Okay.
I left my DSM at work.
So you think this is just a spirit following you, or somebody put a spirit on you?
I don't know. Can
how
you put
find
spirits on a person? I don't know about that, so I can't tell you
it?
that.
I've been told that you can place things on people.
You could place a spirit on somebody, like I throw somebody's spirit at you.
I know some Haitians. I'm not trying to classify.
Oh my god!
I'm not trying to classify all Haitians.
See, we went real left, right? Like
All
we
I'm
just making up things.
I'm not making up anything. All I know is I know some Haitians that said, "Hey man, I was dealing with a situation. I went to this dude who do some things, and my situation got resolved in a way that's bizarre to everybody." Me and that dude stopped being friends because I didn't want to meet his enemy. That's what I feel. I feel becoming that dude's enemy. So the question is, what do you think this spirit may be?
Unique said, "What's up?" I don't know what the spirit may be, but I don't have a ton of people very close to me that have passed on. And I don't have a belief of what necessarily happens once people do. So I'm kind of in that, I don't know, like, you know.
I think to be fair, I don't think a lot of people know. I think a lot of people go off of what
their religion,
what they think they know.
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, I don't think a lot of people know. To be fair, yeah. I mean, you know, I definitely have heard of people, you know, having, you know, encounters with like different spirits and stuff like that. And you know, full disclosure, like I believe in that kind of stuff too. But also, I think that, you know, it might be something that if you feel like it's something that you may want to like explore it. But if you feel like it's not really doing no harm to you,
I want it to go away. What are you talking about?
But it could be something
Be
positive.
protecting.
Yeah, it might be something positive.
Do you get spiderweb feelings like you walked in?
See,
I'm not reading nothing else you need.
Nah, but like, yeah, I mean, it could be, you know, like I believe in like the spirit of my ancestors and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
people believe in angels and stuff like that. I believe in angels and stuff like that too. But I'm just saying, like, I don't necessarily think that that's a completely bad thing. I also think that we are spiritual beings by nature. I think we're spiritual beings that we're having a human experience. So again, I don't think that those things are like extremely far off. But you don't think it's really doing any harm, you know, because it doesn't sound like it's really doing any harm. It just sounds like it's there and you just kind of want to know about it. You know?
Yeah, but I would like for it to go away.
I mean, it could be something that's protecting you, though.
From what?
From things that you don't necessarily like know about.
tell the rest of the story now. Then you speak to a Babylon who told you somebody put something on you?
Oh, it get deep.
Oh, no. I don't think one has anything to do with the other.
I don't
That's
know
why
at
there
this
was
point.
more story.
It could.
It could. I think also too, I think those things are only really significant if we give them power to them. So I think
I really didn't think one had anything to do with
Which is
it.
why I unplugged the camera. I took away the power.
yeah, as long as we like, I think the
So-
more you entertain it, I think the more it'll, for the lack of a better term, haunt you.
Yes.
Right. But I think if you just
But it's like the unknown. And Kevin taking away the power because he feels like he did something. Was afraid too. He had no answer for me. He is scarier than I am. And was like,
but that might have been the answer. The answer might have been, let's not entertain this. That might have been the answer.
So I'm gonna go with you there. I was afraid, absolutely. I'm asleep. You wake me up and say, "Hey man, the ring light in the garage say there's a person in there." Wait,
that's what it said.
wait, what? What you mean? So yes, all the fear is, there's a person in my garage. I need fear of protecting my family. What do? I turn on the thing, and I will give her credit. That shit looks scary.
Right, you trying to make me look like I'm
Listen,
stupid out
I'm
here.
with you, but I want to tell you, but I had to keep watching it because it's a motion in the garage, but you never see a person, but that bitch keep jumping like this.
Yes, it was
It
moving.
keeps jumping across and bouncing. I'm like, man, this don't make no sense. So I'm sitting there contemplating, in the fear that she just thrown upon me, and my own fear, man, I don't want to get hunted either. The bitch in the garage, so it ain't bothering us in the house. So I don't want to go out there.
The
and bother
garage is not another country. It is
I
literally just right
felt
there.
like we was in another the dimension. Like the house is a different dimension than the garage. But in my mind, it didn't have enough sense to come in the house, so I ain't finna go open the door.
Maybe it just
I'm
went to that
finna,
camera.
I'm not finna go invite it.
I'm not finna go invite it in. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, here you go. Come on in, dog.
So when you kept doing about this, I said, man, I gotta go out here and figure this out, right? Went out there.
And I watched him. That's how I knew he was scared. I watched him go in the garage. He was scared.
But think about that. That was a fear that I had to conquer very quickly for my family.
Yeah.
I had a fear.
You had a fear of not going to sleep. Let's be clear. Don't try to make yourself be a superhero.
Yeah, but that winner, you gotta give him some
Come on. I don't ever get credit.
Yeah, you gotta give him some credit. He did.
Oh, man, I don't get credit.
He did go because he wanted me to be quiet.
Don't be too hard on him. Now he did.
See when I step up and embrace my fears and I don't even get credit for it.
Give him some credit.
What did I say previously in the podcast? I'm not letting nothing go.
But I don't need to judge her and her
I'm
fears.
just saying. You gotta give him
I
some
asked for a no judgment zone. So you need to say it happened to him and I'm still alive and well. I'm still alive and well too. I'm just saying.
again, I think sometimes those things only have power when we give them power to them. It's just like anything else. It's just like words or anything like that. Like a lot of times, the strength in those things is the power that we give to them. You know, if we don't give those things any power, then they really don't have any power. You know, shout out to my guy Kevin though for going out there and checking it out. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm glad somebody appreciates me.
We gotta do that.
This man,
We need more women at the boss table because the men always try to support you.
Yeah, that's what we supposed to do. But look, though, that's what I'm saying. Right? So, the divine nature of a man is to lead, protect, and provide. That's our divine nature.
Okay.
Right? So, for him to even afraid, because this is the thing, right? Sometimes we think that because we are being heroic or because we are facing our fears that we don't have fears. No, he can absolutely be afraid. But the fact of it is, he loves you, he loves his family, et cetera, et cetera. So he's willing to stick himself out there for you and his family. So I think that's commendable. I think that's commendable. Because you got a lot of dudes out here, trust me, they ain't doing all of that.
You're right. Some dudes sit in the car
Like that,
and
yeah,
their wife go into like a stranger house and stay in safety.
Exactly.
No, they
He actually got up and said, "Hey, listen, my wife."
No, she's selling out about some other stuff. First off, them Jamaicans were angry.
So you were giving him praise.
Hold on. Before you.
No, man, she always trying to.
I see. But I got you.
Let's read the
Okay. No, listen. Hold on. But what I'm saying is, like, shout out to him for being able to actually step up and do what he was supposed to do from a divine perspective, and that's protect his family, right? Again, there's not a lot of dudes that's willing to go that route, you know. So, you know, I think that is something that is commendable. There's not a lot of dudes, especially nowadays, dudes ain't doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is, you know. But shout out to him for being able to do it. I think that's
Donald trying to give you your flowers.
I appreciate us as kings giving each other our blessings, man, because we know that you women don't want to do it. Y'all always want to see the worst of us instead of checking out some of the best of us.
Categorization, what you did right there.
I'm sorry, everything we see online, social media, everything is a tear down of men. You don't think we fear?
It's ugly out here.
Fear that toxic energy that's always thrown upon us, thrust upon us being deadbeat, especially as black men. There's this stigma that black men is this and that. We ain't none of that.
Listen, I had a lady the other day. She called in for her daughter at the treatment center that I work at. She said to me, "You sound a little too young to be a therapist." I thought to myself, man, don't come up here because you're gonna see I'm black. You really gonna think if you think I sound too young, wait till you see I'm a black man. You gonna really trip out, right? So I just say that to say, yeah, it's hard for us sometimes. So we got to stick together.
That's what I fear. I fear the downfall of the black man due to the negative energy. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, because if you say black woman, like if you finish that sentence with black woman, all hell is gonna break loose on the
Woo! Listen, man.
I'm gonna read this comment. I'm gonna skip. So it says, I was told by a preacher that a spirit was sent his way and he felt it and went through hell during that time. When you're out to do good, evil is present. I do think when you're out to do good, then there's always like something, almost like you say, a hater. So
I think that comment is true. Shout out to Unique. I don't know you, but shout out to you.
You said you don't know.
Yeah.
You said you don't know.
But shout out to him. But shout out to him.
No, but I didn't say he had a God, dog.
No, but shout out to him. But I will say, because I think he makes a great point there. Like, because he's right. Anytime we're trying to do good, evil is present. Now, I think you have to be careful about, you know, I don't want to say it like that, but religious leaders sometimes have a certain intent to what they say and why they say it. So I think sometimes.
And then you get paid.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be a little careful about religious leaders and the intent they put on certain things. I agree with his overall statement. I definitely agree with his overall statement, but I just think you have to be, because preachers can definitely feed into the emotion of people. I'm not saying all preachers do that, so don't at me in my comments. But the point is,
my boy Donald Lewis said all preachers be with that.
Nah. I ain't say it.
See how you did it just then?
No, what I'm saying.
But I will say that. Emotions. But I will say that, you know, preachers are known to play on emotions. You know, so you have to be careful about. And
I feel like all humans do that though.
Yeah, but culturally, it's not as acceptable as it is in church settings.
This is true. This is
Right.
true.
So like
You know,
people
all
aren't
the
people aren't
congregations.
necessarily when they come to see me, they're not necessarily worried about if I'm gonna play on their emotions. Right. Really, they're not even worried about if they're gonna put if the preacher's gonna put on their emotions. But the thing of it is, if I say something to a person, right, as a therapist professionally, and if a preacher says something to somebody, particularly people who look like us, a lot of times the weightier message is gonna be put on the preacher and not myself. Even if I
I
have
don't know
data
now
and
because
statistics
you have
and-
to think now. Things are shifting, and people look at their therapist like
not
the be all sometimes.
not necessarily not
I
in our
disagree.
not in our community. No.
Well, because there's less of us in our community doing therapy.
Sure, but I'm
But-
just saying, like the pastors have been around, or church has been around, religion has been around in our community for forever. So there's a certain level of like
I agree with you.
Right.
I'm just saying
therapy is
that-
a very new thing.
right. So
You
we'll
gonna
agree
tell
on
me-
that. I just think as people more get introduced to therapy, I don't want you to not understand the weight of a therapist.
Oh no, 100%. I understand the weight. I'm just saying I also understand the fact that I also understand that culturally speaking, people put more emphasis in on the things that ministers say than they would
Well, hands down.
anyone else. Yeah, and I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. What I'm really saying is that ministers have a duty to make sure that what they say is beneficial, because we as a people tend to gravitate more towards what's being said from preachers than we do anybody else. Right? There's like documentation of people who will not go to doctors because their pastor told them that if they go to doctors, they are somehow disobeying their faith, or they're not really in faith and stuff like that. So they're sitting there with whatever disease and it's going untreated because they don't want to be
No, absolutely.
accused
Even to
of
this
going
day, like
against
I've
their
heard
faith.
people say with infertility, because we're like,
And
I
that's
call
dumb
this
too,
IVF
because the pastor's not a
survivors.
doctor. So it's dumb to even
Exactly.
But
But
anyway.
people will say like, I won't get infertility treatment because if I'm meant to have a kid, then God will give me one. So yeah, I definitely think so.
That's all I'm saying. It's just that we have to be careful about.
Okay. Samantha said Amber Screen is a therapist who does group and individual sessions for churches. Okay,
Yeah,
so
good.
that's, yeah,
Good. Shout out to her.
good info.
Yeah.
Like, what does that truly mean?
That she does group and individual sessions. I mean, I feel like it's a good resource. I personally think
Yeah, I think it's
everyone
great.
should have a therapist.
I think that's great, particularly for church settings and stuff like that, because I think so oftentimes what happens to us, or I'm gonna just say me, so oftentimes because I grew up in the church and church settings and all of that.
We grew up in the church setting, so
Kevin
No,
did
I'm
too, he
just-
sung in the choir.
No, I'm just saying me, because I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to the audience. You always gonna have people that be like, I didn't grow up like, Again, you gotta remember, like the internet world is different than the world in which we grew up in. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So anyway, we're just talking about me. So I personally grew up like in church settings and stuff like that. So for me, spirituality was the end all be all. We weren't ever taught that there were other things that could associate with the spirituality type of thing. So I think having a therapist to address the mental health issues that might be present, even within the church, I think that's extremely important and vital. And yes, I agree. Not all pastors are qualified. I agree with that.
Yeah, there's no argument here. I mean,
Well, no argument.
well, you
That's
gotta
why
say
the church was
pastor-
silent.
pastor quote,
That's why the church was silent on that one. We all in agreement.
You mean the congregation was?
No, the church was silent. The whole church.
Oh my goodness. So I guess me and my ghost will just have to figure it out.
No, listen. I think you touched on something that, as from a fear perspective, while of course, we kind of jumped on a little bit. It is something that really bothers you. But I guess that should be something addressed too. The fear of telling your fear and who will receive it and how they will receive it. Because that really scares the hell out of me. Like, I know I joked about a bunch of things, but my biggest fear sometimes in life with anybody is telling people what I really feel or telling people what I really think at moments and times, because I know the way I see things at times will be judged harsher. And what I don't want to have to do is explain my feelings. So sometimes it's best just to not even share it.
Particularly as a man. Yeah.
Am I people? Like, I feel like you're not even talking to nobody else.
No. Listen, you your own monster. When I say I don't want to address it to monsters, that's when you chime in. People is everybody else.
Yeah, and I get that, especially as a man, because the idea of like masculinity is that, you know, you have to be, you know, strong and tough all the time.
All the time.
You know, but like, what happens when we have our moments? Who talks to us? Who helps us? Who, you know?
There is no help.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason
therapist.
why.
No.
Yeah, but that's part of the reason why I got into wanting to do therapy and stuff like that. So number one, I don't think that enough of us as Black people go to therapy, and then number two, I don't think there's enough like heterosexual male therapists that are in the field as well. You know what I mean? I think this is a very it's not even that I think it's a very like female dominated profession, and that's not a bad
That's a
thing.
good question.
It's not a bad thing, but it just is what it is. It's a female dominated. So a lot of men are going to be a little bit shy about going to therapy just because the person that's sitting across the table don't look like them. So
I
get
made
that.
sure to find a therapist that looked like me. It was important to me. I
Absolutely.
would like for Kevin to read this next question, though.
No.
Yes.
I have to answer it.
Okay. Do you feel that you holding that in affects you in some fashion, Kevin?
Absolutely.
How does it affect you?
Well, let's talk about, so there are certain things that I seen or I had experienced growing up. And a lot of times as a Black male, it's always tough it up, get up, walk it off, do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you are always perceived as a monster. I know you're shaking your head, but Black men
I didn't
are
shake my head. I'm
I'm
just,
sorry.
I'm really just dialing into what you're saying.
Fair
You
enough,
don't
fair
have to feel like
I
you don't have to
apologize.
fear that I'm judging you here because I'm not. I'm listening.
There's judgment, but I'm gonna run with it
I'm
anyway.
listening. You haven't even said the full sentence yet. So.
But I know that the things that I hold deep inside, stuff I can never tell anyone, it just has to die with me. I fear if that actually comes out, it changes the landscape of how people see or view or how they address or deal with me. Because then I now have to become that monster that I'm told I should be. So
I don't fully understand. So let's start off with this is a safe space.
never. In my own house, at my own table,
It's a
with my
safe
own
space.
cameras and microphone, it is not a safe space.
Talk your shit.
Because-
did y'all hear that?
Because what we know is that the moment
I was talking about it.
You- the
Oh.
moment the moment that someone can use that against you, whether they love you or not, they gonna dig in. And that's what you fear, is when they use something you gave to them, like, man, I trust you enough with this.
So what you're saying is you don't trust your own wife with this information because it's going to come back on you.
I do not trust my wife with all of my demons. No. I've given you about 85 to 90% of them bitches. Them other 10, they have
That's
to
a lie.
die.
That's a lie. I don't even have a full list of the people you slept with. So let's not 85% that. But
Wait a minute, that's a whole different topic. That ain't
Yeah,
today's
I
episode.
That was
See,
a whole-
see that?
yeah,
See how she
that
just
was a
attacked me
whole
about some
different-
bitches?
that was a whole
She just
Listen.
attacked me about some bitches.
if you have my 99% of the demons,
I-
why can't I have your 99%?
There's no way I have your.
So I just want to chime in real quickly.
Go ahead.
Yes, please do.
I think there's a couple of things, right? So I think that women are a lot more extroverted and men tend to be a lot more introverted,
Yes.
right? So I think women are more likely to express their emotions and their feelings about a thing than men are. I think so. That's understandable. Interestingly enough, so I do a men's group. So we talk about a lot of the same things that Kevin was just talking about. We talk about that. So I empathize 100% with what he's saying. I get it 100% because, again, I get it, right? What I will also say too is like, and it's funny because I just had a relationship group today with some of my clients, and we talked a little bit about should you talk about everything in your relationship? Like in a healthy relationship, should everything be talked about? And what I told them was, I don't necessarily think that everything should be talked about. but I think that there are certain topics that should be talked about. So, for example, everything shouldn't be talked about because we often at times have to ask ourselves, are we doing more harm than we are doing good by talking about everything?
I agree.
Right? So sometimes we got to ask ourselves the questions of, should it be said? Should it be said by me? Should it be said by me right now? Right? Sometimes some things just shouldn't be said at all. You can apologize for anything, but some things just shouldn't be said at all. Right? Should it be said by me? Sometimes the message is correct, but I'm the wrong messenger to say that. Should it be said by me right now? There's a time and place for everything up under the sun. Not everything should be said within that moment. Right? So yes, I maybe should address this, but addressing this in this moment could do more harm than good. So I say that to say, like, you know, I'm a firm believer that there are some things that I think you should keep to yourself because they might do more harm than good if they do come out. Right? Or I would say, you know, talk to somebody like some sort of professional, a therapist or someone like that, who, if you talk to them, there is, you know, confidentiality and stuff like that. So there are certain things that we cannot disclose, even if we were summoned by the court. We have to say, hey, listen, we have a certain level of confidentiality that we have to abide by. So I just say that to say, again, like, not everything I think within the scope of a relationship, particularly a romantic relationship, should necessarily be talked about. I think that there are some things that should be talked about, and then there's some things that, you know, you kind of keep to yourself, because if I do go that way, it could cause more harm than it could do good.
So what I want to say is, what do I need to do for you to feel like this is a safe space?
This is therapeutic.
I think you don't. I'm in a very safe space. I trust you with the majority of my demons. And I show you the most vulnerability I will show anyone. But there are certain things that I know they just need to lay there. And sometimes, you know, when we talk about some therapy and do you want to know, like you asked me, like,
don't do that.
No. Don't do that.
I just want you to be careful where you about to go right now.
All I'm saying is that, you know, you come to me like, man, you dealing with some stuff sometimes. Why don't you seek out therapy? And I'd be like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm good. Everything cool. And for a while, it was because I don't think I need it. So as we get older and we start kind of looking at certain things, it's maybe not a fear of I don't think I need it. More of the fear is now is that I don't know if I want to address it. So,
but what about, so don't fear the person that you could become, because therapy could help you work through it. And there's another layer of Kevin that you could experience that you're like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner?
Can I address that? Because I think what he just said is very, because that actually was me this year, right? I started going to therapy this year, and I've been going to therapy since like April or May, right? One of the top 3 best decisions I've ever made.
I don't want to stop you, but the therapist going to a therapy.
Here we go.
I
just want to make sure I heard it.
No.
Because that's some deep shit.
I'm gonna go right there with you. Because
Okay.
Because I was already in the field, studying to be in the field. I'm thinking to myself, well, what can this person tell me? Because I know all the tricks. You can't pull the wool. I had those same things. It's like, okay, I know I got issues going on, but I don't even know if I even want to face those issues. Because at this point, and I'm also looking at my life, and I'm saying to myself, hey, listen, well, this shit, my life is okay. You know what I'm saying? So even though I might have these issues, I'm
still doing okay.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. But for me, and I can only speak for me, right? For me, the catalyst that made me go to therapy was I felt like I had some sort of block, right? That there was a level that I just wasn't getting to. And this is me personally. I'm not talking about, right? There was a level that I knew that I could get to that I couldn't, for whatever reason, I just knew I wasn't getting to that level. Like, for whatever reason, I'm Luther Vandross with the half curl. Like, the curl just wasn't.
It just don't always
it wasn't. It wasn't. So I was like, damn, what is it? And that for me really made me be like, when I got to that realization of like, man, there's another level that I can go to that I haven't really gotten to yet. that's what kind of caused me to say, okay, maybe there are some things, because I don't necessarily think that I'm like mentally ill or anything like that or anything like that. So I always also thought to that, like, I don't need therapy because there are other people that need therapy, you know? Yeah, I got trauma and stuff like that, but I'm doing good. I'm doing well in my life, right? So, but I just, for me, it was just that there was a block that was there that I knew that was there, and I knew what I needed to get over. And for me, that's what helped me to go to therapy. And again, I say it was one of the best decisions that I ever made, because for me personally, as much insight that I believe that I have on myself, sometimes it just sounds good hearing it for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody else brings it to the table, it's kind of like, oh shit, okay. You know, and again, like I know about therapy. So I know whatever I tell you in this space, it got to stay here. As long as I ain't in harm to myself or nobody else, like whatever I tell you clinically, professionally, it has to stay in this space. And for me, again, that really helped me to kind of get over that fear. I had to be open to it. I had to be willing to it. You know what I mean? And for me, and I'm not encouraging you to go to therapy or anything like that.
You should encourage them, though.
No, because not everybody might necessarily need a therapist. And I said this on another podcast too. Like I think for men sometimes, or even for women, it may not necessarily mean that we need like a therapist. We might need a life coach. We might need a pastor. We might need a male support group. We might need, you know, the barbershop for me is very cathartic, right? You go to the barbershop, you're gonna talk about all your bullshit, we're gonna talk about sports, you know, and you walk away from that and you feel better, right? I didn't have to pay $100 an hour. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So,
you have benefits, so you can pay.
No. But anyway, the point is, for me, I can definitely relate to like the emotions and stuff like that you feel, because I felt the same way. I was like, man, I don't know. And then I was also like, my ego kicked in. I'm like, yeah, shit, I'm a therapist myself. What the hell I'm gonna go to therapy for? What are you gonna tell me that I can't diagnose myself on? You know?
When I tell you the comments are blowing up, everybody feels like you should just try it. I think what you should do is you should just at least do one session and come back and tell us on a podcast your review. Keep an open mind.
I think you should if you feel like you're ready. Because if you're not ready, you're gonna waste your time.
I don't know if I would be. I don't know if I'm strong enough to deal with it.
We can be strong together. So, you know, like when I went to therapy,
I like that answer. Can we stay on that answer? Because that was a great answer. No, I like that answer.
That we can be strong together.
We can be strong together. I like that. I like that.
You were able to see my therapist and talk to her about certain things with me. Then I'm like, I feel like you can be strong enough to just talk to someone on your own. And you'll be surprised at what your rambling may actually cause you to break through. I really think it won't do any harm. It will just be better.
I like that answer of like, we can do it together. That was powerful.
It was so good.
It was powerful. It damn near sold me.
Yeah. So I think that was the comment of the day. That was powerful. I felt touched by that.
Good.
And I hear a lot of people say a lot of shit all day.
That one almost got me. Felt like I was getting an Obama speech.
Yeah, but no, I agree.
Like 2012, stronger together.
Shout out to the This and That podcast.
What's that by? Either way.
Yeah. Shout out to the This and That podcast. Those are my guys.
Shout out to them.
Hey man, This and That podcast got to get me on, man. That's a group of men doing some big things.
Yeah,
man, I need to get on that.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
You better talk to them. They're on your podcast right now. Shout out, get Kevin on. Let him talk about his first therapy session on the This and That podcast. Let's do it.
I mean, maybe not.
Maybe not that.
Yeah, like maybe.
Well,
yeah, it's kind of deep, you know.
They agree. It's sold.
Yeah,
no,
that's kind of deep. You might come in there talking about.
Know my name first.
Yeah,
start with some basic
they
information.
know it. It's Kevin. It says it under your picture. Your name is Kevin.
We gotta come in there with the wild shit first, and then
Yeah.
then
we get deep.
Yeah, we gotta come in there with the barbershop talk first, and then
know them, and I'm coming in with some deep stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I seen this. So them
Yeah.
I don't need all that. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, so I know we're winding down on our hour, so I'm gonna leave y'all with one last huge fear of mine.
Man, this went quick.
It did, right? The fears. But I want to tell y'all this last fear. I am afraid of outgrowing my partner in this thing that we do in business.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
Everybody know who her partner is, though. It's this guy. Just in case there's confusion out there, I'm the partner. She thinks she fears.
I'm just saying, I'm afraid. So I've been afraid of this. Like, this has been a fear of mine for a long time. When I decided to go into entrepreneurship, in an effort to support me, my partner was like, yeah, let's do it. And I do feel like a lot of it has been kind of dragging them along, and they're starting to open their eyes. But as we get deeper and deeper into this, everyone's not built for entrepreneurship. Everyone doesn't like it. Some people want to collect their check on every other Friday. And I'm not knocking it. Like, that's just, what some people want to do. They want to have their 401k and know that they are set. And then some people want to see. I
collect the check every Friday. Every other Friday.
Every other Friday. Yes. I mean, that is a security that some people want. And then some people want to say, what else can I do? And that comes with ups and downs. Sometimes there's no check. Sometimes we living on faith and eating noodles and, begging for food. But it's the idea of what could be that keeps you going. My point is, I'm afraid that if I continue on this journey, that at some point we won't be able to go together. That's my fear that I'm gonna leave y'all with tonight. DJ said I need both of them right now. Both of them.
Right, I'm with him. Like, I need the entrepreneurship check, and I need that. I'm about getting the bag. Can I just say this? Like, I'm about getting the bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's on a job. I don't care. Like, listen. Go get the bag. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. Once you get the bag, you can make other things happen. Go get the bag.
I mean, that's where we are right now. But what happens when we don't have to get the bag? Like, I just feel like some people
always have to get the bag.
Well, wait. What if you don't have to clock in to get the bag? Let me say that.
Sure.
I feel like some of us are programmed. I want to say a lot of us are probably
Everybody's programmed. If we went through a traditional education system, we're programmed to bells and buzzards, and you get a job, you do this, you do that. That's the way society works.
I'm programmed to get the bag. no matter how it comes. I'm all for it. I'm for having a job. Like, I'm for having a job because I think, like, I'm a firm believer. I know we gotta go, but
we don't. It's our show.
Yeah, okay. But I'm a firm believer because for me,
when you're the boss, you can do whatever you want to do.
That's interesting because that's what I was just talking about.
But my thing is like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm a fan of entrepreneurship. I really am. But I also believe in optimizing your opportunities. Right. My job. My degrees allow me to do what I'm doing now, right? So I can't knock it because the truth of the matter is this is what brought me to tables like this, and you get what I'm saying? So me being like, oh, fuck, having a, you know what I'm saying?
No, so it's not a knock.
No.
I just don't want you to think about
No.
She's knocking mine.
No. I'm not saying people are knocking it. What I'm saying is I think people going to entrepreneurship a lot of times to escape working 9 to 5s, and I get that, right? But what I'm saying is you can use your 9 to 5 to benefit you.
Yes.
Like, you don't necessarily have to quit the 9 to 5. It doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other. It can actually be both if you know how to utilize it. You see what I'm saying? Now, not everybody is in a career like mine, I admit. Like, and not everybody's in a career like mine where you can make that kind of happen that way. But what I'm saying is it doesn't, like, too many of us, I think, are really in a black and white mentality, all or nothing mentality. I don't necessarily think that it has to be an all or nothing mentality. There's a lot of things that you can do where you can have like a 9 to 5 type of thing and also have your own, and use that 9 to 5 to stabilize whatever it is that you want to do business wise.
Which we completely agree. So we both are that.
And again, I'm not saying you all like here. I'm just
right.
saying,
I just wanted to clarify. Because what my statement is not knocking his 9 to 5. That's how the lights are on and the kids are fed. So there's not a knock there. What I'm saying is where we're going. His 9 to 5 demands too much of him.
Sure.
So it then becomes, what are you willing to give up? And I think he fears letting go of a 9-to-5 to fully do this and embrace what it could be.
Yeah, sure.
Because the 9-to-5 is a safety net.
Sure. And I think a lot of people have that type of. I think a lot of people are deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people deal with that. So again, and I'm not knocking either one. I think both of them work. I also think, like, as a man, again, our divine nature is to lead, protect, and provide. So sometimes how we interpret leadership, protection, and provision is very different than maybe our counterpart might be looking at leadership, protection, and provision. And so sometimes I think it's about having a conversation to where everybody can express their ideas and maybe get on the same page. Sometimes, again, I think it's just a difference in definitions of what that might look like, you know? I just say, like, I know for me, if my wife was for me personally, if my wife was in some sort of like entrepreneurship, I might really, if I'm not established in entrepreneurship, I would probably definitely be in a job, because what I'm doing is stabilizing it so that she can do what she wants to do. Right? So I'm taking care of those stabilizers.
I'm going to take my job and let them know that I quit, because you're going to lead. You're going to stabilize. Mm-hmm. And what was the other one?
Lead, protect, and provide.
Because you're going to do that. I'm going to quit now.
Fine. No. Are you going to allow me to lead?
You're leading right now.
It becomes a difference. So I just want to make sure we clarify that. So
right.
I am leading, but if you're telling me that we built something based off of dual incomes, and we built something that's pretty,
you got to lead us with one income.
I'm going to lead us with one income, which means that a lot of things that we might have become accustomed to,
I have to pull back.
We have to pull back from.
No, lead us to take care of it by yourself. I'm gonna read the comments.
That's not how that works.
So it says entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's some people that just meant for corporate America. It's okay to feel like that, which it is. It just really, the question that I have is, in our household, it really feels like somebody can't do both all the time.
I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think
it doesn't, but it's the personality. So the person themselves have to decide if they can do both.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't think it has to be one or another. I think it can be both.
Yeah, but the person has to decide if it's both. Like, it can be both for you, but maybe it's not both for them. Maybe they can't focus on two things at the same time.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, again, I'm talking overarchingly. Right,
I understand. I'm talking very directly.
Right.
Yeah, she's saying very directly.
Yeah.
You can't walk and chew gum over there.
Yeah.
Listen, I hear all of her bullshit.
No.
This is why I ain't still giving her the other 10% of my shit. Because, boy.
Listen, I feel you, but I clocked out 2 hours ago. So that ain't right. I'm speaking of largely and saying that I think that there is a way to do both.
I'm glad my boy DJ Bush on my side.
Wait a minute. So we got to read some of these comments. Let's go back.
Go ahead,
I don't know where we are.
Which one you want to read?
Okay, wait a minute. So DJ said he bossing up on both fronts. I understood that. So it's okay to evolve in what you're doing, and he supports you how he can and when he can. I think that's fair. Absolutely. I thought that was fair too. So
what's the next one? I'll go to the next one.
Oh, he don't want me to explain that. Okay. So I have the same fear, the fear of quitting my 9-to-5 to concentrate full time on the podcast. That's scary as hell to me. It's going to take a lot for me to make that step. So I appreciate that full honesty, because that's what it is like, when you get to that final number that you say it's safe, are you still afraid to make that leap to just do the entrepreneurship journey? Hold on. Okay, it says, I think we have more examples of being successful in the normal route than the entrepreneur. Yes, we do.
Read the next one.
I'm not going to read the next one.
You sure? That's a great comment right there.
The comment says that I'm being unrealistic with the income. Let's move on.
I'll move on, but I want you to read it.
I read it.
Listen, because our income,
No,
it's not like it's some basic income that you can compensate with a No.
Oh, I know I'm here. I see.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I see.
You're a guest, sir. Don't do
I
that.
see.
Don't do that. Don't put your finger down. Put your finger down. Sir.
I'm in the house. I see.
God dang it.
So the next comment says, if you're focused on entrepreneurship, then Kevin and you should
I
have
use
a
the
conversation.
restroom. I go upstairs and
Have a conversation to see if you continue to grow, and he'll hold down a 9 to 5. It's really just a conversation that Kevin and I have to continue to have. He's been super supportive. I'm just really giving him a hard time. I feel like I said, we're in a pivotal piece where our brands are about to grow, and Kevin is finally like starting to join me. But I definitely think he is a 9 to 5er.
I am a 9 to 5er in heart, but I want to make sure that we clarify something. Kevin has always supported. When my wife said, I want to take this journey, and how do we get the funds to do this? I depleted 401ks to make stuff happen. So I have been there.
Hold on, you don't got to put all your business on the street.
I will.
Is saying that you're not supported.
Yeah, that's what it said when you started this shit.
No. I feel like you have a fear. It was one of the fears I feel like you had.
Fear of being homeless. Absolutely.
I never said that you aren't supporting me, sir.
I think if he's willing to address the fear, then the fear is not important. If he's willing to address it. And it sounds like, right, based upon what I'm hearing and understanding, it sounds like he's willing to address the fear.
Don't let Donald speak for you. Are you willing to address
the entrepreneur fear?
Yes.
It's not me speaking for him. It's the 401k that he depleted that's speaking for him.
No, my God said a lot of words that sound really good.
I don't have to speak for him.
Did that happen?
I don't have to
Did
speak
it happen?
for him.
You didn't deplete your 401k
multiple times.
No, sir.
I don't have to speak
You can't
for him.
deplete a 401k multiple times.
Fair enough. I couldn't get all of it, but I took the most they legally would allow me to get.
Yeah.
Since you want to be technical.
Yeah, it ain't me speaking for him. The writing on the wall.
No, bro. He is formulating nice sentences to sound like he is doing the most. Is he supportive? Yes, he is. Yes, he is supportive.
I think you can measure how much money he pulled out his 401k.
I can measure that. It wouldn't deplete it. Kevin is, I'm not gonna say Capricorn, but like he would never deplete his 401k for what I'm doing, because he is literally gonna be like, so what happened if we gonna be homeless tomorrow? That's just not a thing. So stop saying that.
But I don't think that's a bad thing, because I still think
I didn't say it's a bad thing, but it didn't happen.
But what I'm saying is, I think that's still in his mind. I think that's still him trying to protect you. You want to live on the street? I'll be right back. Sit with that. Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, I don't necessarily know like how I should answer that, but it says real men support.
No, you don't want to live on the street.
I didn't say no. Real men support the vision in any way they can. So the next comment says, okay, now you use your funds to help her business venture, and what you should do as her husband, however, she has some fears that you guys need to discuss and iron out. Yes, there's some fears that we need to talk about.
Man, Martha on your team. She done jumped on this episode and she team and
yes, share the podcast, y'all. Y'all share the podcast. Join us here every Wednesday.
So I will talk on that. Your fears are valid.
Thank you.
And I'm never saying that they're not valid. What I am telling you is that I fear losing everything we built from the mud. So we've been doing this 2 decades. 2 decades from the ground up. People not thinking that we gonna be anything valuable, to now having 3 businesses, putting on events and doing things like that. To now people trying to get close to us to see exactly what they can build off of what we're starting to create. I see the come up, but I can also see that, hey man, if we ain't careful or we step wrong, we can lose everything. So it's crazy to me.
So I just appreciate you saying that my feelings are valid, because that's exactly what the comment says. Stop making me feel like my feelings aren't valid.
Feelings are valid.
I'm not trying to say that you don't support me. All I'm trying to say is we have built, we have a lot of time in this, and my fear is that as I progress, you won't want to take those progressions with me, whatever that looks like for you. I just fear that your fear is coming along. And I don't want that to be something that stops us from growing or doing more.
So
I don't
you want
think
to read this comment?
I don't think anybody said that her feelings were invalid.
I feel like y'all a little bit tried to little girl my feelings.
we never tried to
we
little
never
girl
had to
you.
say no.
Don't you put that out there.
Hold on, y'all can't tell me how I feel. The therapist over here, he cannot tell me how to feel.
He is
about
not at
what
work
he
right now.
said.
He is not at work right now.
Well, y'all better clock him in. I'm just telling y'all what I said.
Oh, I'm still clocked in technically, but good.
Trying
No,
to
I
make
don't
me
think
lose
nobody.
his
I
license
don't
with
think.
that
I don't
bullshit.
think
Come on.
nobody. I don't think nobody was trying to invalidate. I'm not talking to you. I'm actually talking to the comment, but I don't think anybody was trying to invalidate her feelings. I think what we did was we were trying to explain give a different perspective, right? And that is my role as a therapist. To even if you feel a certain way, is to give you a different perspective.
I swear.
Okay, so Kevin, I think you definitely need to pray and ask God to increase your faith, and you and your wife have a realistic conversation on how far you're willing to go so that the fear is not a major factor. Come on, you're right. The therapist cannot tell you how to feel. Say it again for the people in the back.
We're gonna take it. I put it on the screen, I removed it off the screen. It's done.
All right, so like for real, we're really gonna wrap up. It's been a really great episode. So
deep. I like this.
yes,
Y'all should have me back. No.
yeah, we definitely should. This was really great.
We definitely gonna do it.
So what do you want to leave the people with today?
Face your fears.
Face your fears.
Face your fears. Whatever they are, face them. And that doesn't necessarily mean, again, that facing your fears might mean that you decide to go the other way. Like you acknowledge it, it's there, but you decide to go the other way. And then facing it could definitely mean you lean into the uncomfortableness, right? I think that's important. So face your fears. I think that's important. That's how we grow. We're always going to have moments where we feel uncomfortable and anxious and anxiety and all that kind of stuff. Fear is going to exist, but I think that there's something greater in us than fear itself.
I think that was well said. Face your fears.
We're gonna end it on that.
I'm with you when you're right.
We shutting it down.
You see that? You see that? That's what I'm talking about, right there. You see that? That's what I like. I like that. I like that.
We try to be one.
Yeah, we do good sometimes.
And we didn't have the comment of the night. She did. When she was like, we can do this. That was the comment of the night. That was a bar. That was a...
We can do this together. Y'all
That-
put on t-shirt.
I'll make sure I go pull that out and put it on a clip so that way they can hear it.
That was a bar.
Thank you, sir.
It was.
Thank you.
That was a bar. So I feel like, I know we're leaving, but I feel like that's not enough of that in relationships. It's that, we're going to go through this and we're going to go through this together. I feel like it's not enough of that. So it's nice to hear that.
Good. I'm glad I could leave y'all with some information. We are in it together. So until next week, which we will see you guys back at the boss table, 7 p.m. next Wednesday. We actually have exciting news. We're going to start at Weena Rants on Fridays. So I'll do 5-minute rants.
I will not be able to survive them.
So ladies, then y'all come join me on Friday at 7 as I rant about how I felt about this episode. So my 5-minute Friday rants. But until then, we will see y'all next Wednesday at the boss table at 7 p.m.
That's like this Friday?
She's starting this Friday.
That's
She ain't
right.
procrastinating.
I like that.
Nope.
She
I like that.
She ain't procrastinating with it. She
I like that.
came up with it this
Yeah,
morning.
you gotta
said,
check me
I'm
out.
going Friday. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
I like that. I like that.
So until then, we appreciate y'all joining us, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.